Bhakti is here to share some greatest achievements and figures in the history of mathematics. First, when magic gave way to numbers. Pythagoras was one of the great mathematicians of ancient Greece. 3000 years ago, the Greeks started to look for rational explanations for natural phenomena and laid the foundations for geometry and arithmetic. Second, measuring the earth with a rod. Several centuries later, the Greek mathematician Eratosthenes was able to calculate the Earth's diameter using a rod stuck in the ground and the rule of 3. And he did it several centuries before it was demonstrated that the planet is round. Third, mathematics for Napoleon. The CT scan, data storage in cell phones and equalizers in the music industry, they all work thanks to the mathematical achievements of the French Joseph in the early 19th century. The scientist, who was a member of Napoleon's staff, is known for his contribution to thermodynamics on the basis of natural phenomena. Fourth, Newton's most prolific years. At only 23, young Isaac Newton developed theorems such as differential and integral calculus in a very short period of time. This brought a revolution to contemporaneous science as well as still being taught and applied nowadays. Fifth, rescuing mathematics. Portrait of as precise as they are, the mathematical sciences stalled in the early 20th century with the debate about infinity, completeness and the consistency of theorems. This dilemma was solved by such eminent figures as Kurt Gödel and Alan Turing. Sixth, mathematics to understand relativity. Being a Jewish woman with aspirations in science in Germany at beginning of 20th century was not an easy thing to do for Emmy Noether, but that didn't prevent her from becoming one of the greatest mathematical figures of her time. Despite not having access to the university, she ended up formulating fundamental theories to understand relativity. 7. Predict the random things in life. For centuries, many of the physical phenomena that occurred in nature were classified as random. But scientists from different fields researched the predictability of these events in order to predict them. Thanks to the study of dynamic systems, terms such as the butterfly effect, the Smale horseshoe, were created, which are still used to describe the system of chaos in which little variations produce totally disproportionate results. 8th, Cartesian maths. René Descartes is very well known for his work in philosophy, where he is recognized as the father of rationalism under the principle, I think, therefore I am, creating new ways of thought that would define modern philosophy. However, his achievements in mathematics are not less remarkable. His approach to geometry is the origin of the Cartesian axis, and he was even hired by the Queen of Sweden to develop his work. 9th, when the zero was born. The Middle Ages in India were tremendously fruitful in terms of mathematics. Classical Indian thinkers developed the classical arithmetics that the Arabs would later collect. This would have not been possible without the introduction of the number 0 in the numerical system, which led them to operate like never before. 10th, the origin of mathematics. Alexandria was one of the most important intellectual centers of the ancient world. The mixture of cultures, the museum and the library, and the congregation of wise people from different fields made it the city a benchmark in knowledge worldwide. There lived Euclid, the mathematician who wrote one of the most influential books in the history, elements which for many years modern mathematics drank and laid the foundation of geometry. 11th, Al-Khwarizm's algebra. In the same way as Alexandria was another important gathering point for scholars and thinkers from the Arab. Al-Khwarizm developed in this context the basis of algebra by inheriting the creation of zero by the Indians. Also, in honor of his name, we call the algorithms. Thank you and have a wonderful day.